known about Klingon Shakespeare for years.
You have not experienced Shakespeare until you have read him in the original Klingon.
So wasn't it about time we got the Cardassian Star Wars?
Fascinating.
This is one of my more tongue-in-cheek theories, but I think you'll agree that the evidence is funny, if not compelling. One of my favourite parts in any Star Trek was the conversations between Garak and Bashir discussing the differences in Cardassian and human culture. They also covered art, with Garak critiquing Shakespeare from a Cardassian perspective, while Bashir critiqued a novel called The Never-Ending Sacrifice. The novel's an example of the highest form of Cardassian literature, the repetitive epic. A type of story that traditionally features multiple generations of the same family serving the state in pretty much the same ways.
But he tells the same story over and over again. All of his characters lead selfless lives of duty to the state, grow old, and die.
Again, it's like poetry, it's sort of they rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
Every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one.
But that's exactly the point, Doctor. The repetitive epic is the most elegant form in Cardassian literature, and the never-ending sacrifice is its greatest achievement.
My argument here is that Star Wars can be read as an atypical repetitive epic that directly criticizes both the Federation and religion, but also warns the reader away from trying to add un-Cardassian influences to the existing Cardassian society. That in my headcanon, Star Wars exists in Star Trek but as an obscure Cardassian novel. This is going to take some explaining. We'll start with the prequels. The writer of the novel, one Glenn-Gore-Lucas, has begun with a multiracial, multicultural democratic republic. It's weak, crippled by disorder and dissent. The Old Republic is the Federation. The Jedi are the personification of religion and mysticism, powerful in their own right but blind to the big picture until it's too late. Over the first half of the novel, the Republic becomes the Empire, and to the Cardassian reader this is unquestionably a good thing. Unity conquers diversity, order is triumphing over chaos, the state is winning over the individual, atheism is destroying religion. The main character is Darth Vader, and by the end of the first half he has sacrificed his wife, his happiness, his body, and his very soul in service to the state. To the Cardassians reading it, this is a happy ending, though a bittersweet one because family is second only to the state. In the second half, the Empire, now dominated by ethnocentric humans, is a symbolic representation of the Cardassian Empire. It's got duty, dedication, brutality, efficiency, and those funky dark uniforms, but like the Death Star, a symbol for a symbol, it has a flaw. And that flaw is a spiritual cancer at its heart, the Sith. The Sith, like the Jedi, are the symbolic representation of religion. Now, the religion that the Cardassians had the most experience with was the Bajoran one, and through the orbs they could sometimes do some pretty weird things. So the Jedi are a heavily fictionalized version of the Bajorans, made multicultural to further compound how wrong the Cardassian reader would see them. And the flaw of the Empire is that it's run by a couple of Bajorans who are trying to be Cardassian. The Force itself is symbolic of the disorder that will inevitably worm its way into every society that is not the Cardassian Empire. Remember, they're very xenophobic. The reader would be elated at the birth of the Empire and crushed when it falls, but upon further reflection would realise that with Palpatine and Vader at the helm it could not survive. Palpatine and Vader sowed the seeds of their own destruction when they sought to bring Luke into the fold. If they'd been model Cardassian heroes, they would have handed the reins of the new Empire to Grand Moff Tarkin at the end of the prequels, and committed suicide to further extinguish the so-called Force from the galaxy. Yes, that would have left Luke, Obi-Wan and Yoda, but the Empire under Tarkin, free of distraction, would have found and eliminated them easily. Rather than relying on the bedrock of the real-life Cardassian Empire, such as the Obsidian Order, it was an empire built on magic sand. Tarkin was the closest thing to a real-life Cardassian in the book, and he died because of Death Star's fatal flaw. A symbol of the Empire's fatal flaw. His death is supposed to tell the reader that the Empire cannot ever be Cardassia. The Journal of the Wills by Glenn-Gore-Lucas couldn't use the Cardassian Empire in his novel warning about religion because such a thing couldn't be legal in Cardassia. You can't show the Empire as flawed. Plus, it'd be unbelievable because Cardassians would never make the elementary mistakes of the Empire, such as the Death Star. But do you know who in Star Trek has created a weapon capable of destroying an entire planet? The fucking Federation.
What if this thing we use where life already exists?
It would destroy such life in favor of its new matrix.
Yes, Genesis is the Death Star. So this all necessitated his use of humans in place of Cardassians. And the whole point of the first half of the book is to explain how the Federation became this empire. This stand-in for Cardassia. So why aren't there any more recognisable alien races in it? Where are the Vulcans and the Breen? Well, Princess Leia dressed up as a Breen towards the end of the book, and Yoda is totally a cross between a Vulcan and a Ferengi. But mainly the aliens are parroting the interchangeable inferior races that surround the Cardassians. The small differences become ridiculous. Remember, Cardassian culture is very, very racist. And what about the weird names? That's a mixture of lack of research and not caring. The readers wouldn't know that many real alien names, so the writer just found names that sounded alien and didn't care about realism. That's broadly the same reason that half the characters in Left Behind have insane names too. Anyway, and now we have the beginning of a new third of the book. Glengor Lucas has been replaced by Legate J.J. Abra, and the repetitive part has really kicked in, with another generation doing exactly the same shit as before, even down to the mistakes. Star Wars is a truly repetitive epic, making it one of the great unsung pieces of Cardassian literature.